So if you're able to pick up a Samsung Galaxy Fold, you're going to want to watch this video. This is EBPMAN Tech Reviews, and today we're going to talk about 10 tips that are going to make using your Samsung Galaxy Fold better than ever. Let's get right to it. Now, as you know, the Samsung Galaxy Fold is one of the hardest phones to come by. First of all, it's super expensive, but they're very limited. So for those of you who have your hands on a Samsung Galaxy Fold, I'm going to share with you 10 tips that are going to make using the Fold better than ever. I'll tell you, I've been using it for 48 hours, and there are things that frustrated me. So I'm going to share with you the things that I've done to make it just work better. Let's get right to it.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell icon to get notified when new videos become available.
Now, the very first tip, the one thing that just annoyed me is I couldn't see the battery percentage. So this is going to be the first tip, and it's probably the easiest of all the tips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe down, I'm going to go into settings, and I'm going to show you the fastest way to find things. So I'm going to do is show battery percent. As soon as you tap on that, it's going to take you to the menu, and then what you'll do is you'll enable that. Notice it right here. As soon as I turn it off, it disappears. When you tap it on, you'll be able to see it. This is, to me, a really important feature, and I don't understand why it's always off. Now, the other feature that was driving me a little bit crazy was accessing my notifications, because the screen is wider and it's a little bit harder to navigate. So let me show you something, especially because you have this area here. When I tend to swipe this way and I'm a righty, I would always crash the camera lens. So what I did is, if you press and hold here, right, what you do is you go into home screen settings, and then what you're going to do is enable swipe down notification panel. If you do that, watch what's going to happen. As soon as you put your finger in the middle of the screen and you swipe down, you'll be able to just get your toggles area down. So instead of having to come up here and maybe trying to work your way this way, all you do is you enable that feature, and then you swipe down to get your toggles, and then you can swipe up to get access to your apps. Now, the other area I modified is where my brightness slider was. So I'm going to swipe down, because I enabled that feature, and I'm going to swipe down again. And then you notice the brightness slider shows up there. So if I click on this here, I can say show control on top. So if I tap that and I hit done and I go out, now when I swipe down, it's the very first thing that I see right underneath my toggles. Now, this next feature is going to make your battery life last longer, and it's going to also help with readability. So I'm going to swipe down, and you'll notice that everything here is black. I'm going to swipe down again and then come over. I enabled my night mode. You notice how things look right here? I just choose this, and I leave it on even during the day because it just makes it easier. So text messages, your dialer are going to be in this black and white, and for me, I just find it easier to read, plus it's going to save your battery too. Now, this next tip is going to make the colors and everything on your phone vibrate and pop out more. And I don't know why Samsung has it off. So let me show you what you do. You'll swipe down, right? We're going to go into settings, and in settings, we're going to go into display, and then you'll notice that it says screen mode. Right now it says that it's natural. If you change it to vivid, things are going to pop out more. So I'm going to change it to vivid because I like the reds to be red. I like the yellows to be yellow. I want things to be a little bit more vibrant. And let's face it, you have a beautiful screen, so you might as well take advantage of it. So now, as soon as you do that, your screen is just going to look, even better. It's going to look at all these colors. They just pop out more. Now, the other option that was driving me crazy was the fact that the power button was launching Bixby, and I want to show you how you can change that. For those of you who are looking to power it down right now, since you haven't changed it, you swipe down, you choose the power symbol there, and then you'll do, one of these options. What I'm going to choose is side key buttons, and then I'm going to modify my side key option right here to power off the menu. You'll notice that you have double pressing. You can do a launch of the camera, open Bixby, or what you could do is choose any of the apps that are in your phone, or in this case, the Galaxy Fold. This is great, so if you're a business person and let's say, for example, you use Outlook or you use another product, you can actually program that button to launch whatever program that you use the most for whatever reason. So I'm going to leave it at quick launch because that's what I like, and I'm going to come out. And now when I press and hold this button, you'll notice that it gets right to that menu and Bixby isn't launching. Now, the Galaxy Fold does a fantastic job consuming media, especially when you rotate and put on landscape mode, but the audio isn't at its best setting. So this next tip is going to give you Dolby Sound. So what you do is you'll swipe down and do this twice. I'm going to come over, and you'll notice I have Dolby here. You're going to tap that. Right now it's going to be off. You're going to tap it to turn it on, and that's going to change your sound experience. That's going to give you kind of like that surround sound experience. Now, if I press and hold this, I could actually personalize it to the things you do. Let's say you're not a movie person. Let's say you're someone who wants enhanced voices. So you can choose voice, you can choose music, you can choose movie, or you can let it to auto. I leave it on auto so that I choose so many different type of media. I may be listening to an audiobook, I may be watching a movie, I may be doing something that has more action. I let it automatically adjust the sound settings based on what content I'm viewing. Now, one of the coolest features about the Galaxy Fold is the fact that you can go from a small screen format like this, and then when you open it up, it becomes supersized. But did you know that it doesn't work both ways unless you tell it to? So if I open up something here and then I close the screen, it's not going to show up in that mode automatically. Notice how it turned off. Let me show you how you can turn it on so that if you go from a large screen format to a small screen format, it continues where you left off. So now to get this feature enabled, you're going to swipe down again. We're going to go into settings, and then we're going to just type in the word continue. And notice, continue apps to front screen. Now what you'll have to do is you have to go into this area here, and you're going to have to choose the apps that you want to continue. So you notice I was in Chrome, and Chrome, notice how Chrome was off, right? So the continue wasn't on. Now by clicking on this, when I open and close the app, it is going to go from large screen format to small screen format, not just one way. Let's try it. So we have Chrome open. So we have Chrome open, and I'm actually at my YouTube channel. So now we have Chrome open and we're at my YouTube channel. If I close it, it should now come back to that screen as well. Pretty cool. Now the next feature is an important feature because in the event that you lose your phone or you're trying to find your phone because you left it somewhere in the house, it's going to allow you to find it really quick. So what we're going to do is swipe down, we're going to go into settings, and then I'm going to go into the magnifying glass and I'm going to type in Find My Mobile. As soon as I find my mobile, it's going to come up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Find My Mobile section. And in order for this to work, you have to be logged into a Samsung account. Now you notice the things I have on. I've turned on remote controls. I've turned down the Google location services because I want to know where my phone is. And then this is optional, remote unlock. But the area that so many people forget to turn on is the send last location. The reason why you want to turn on send last location is because if your battery dies, it's going to tell you where it was last found before the battery died. So turn on that feature so that if you lose your phone and it loses power, you at least know exactly where it was the last time it was on. Now one other feature that I'm going to share with you that I would turn on, especially because as you look at this form factor, you're probably going to be doing a lot of reading, and that is called, it's a gesture called Smart Stay. And Smart Stay is going to keep the screen on. The timeout will not affect the screen as long as it sees you looking at the screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here and we're going to type in Smart Stay. And you notice it's right here. And then once you go into Smart Stay, what you can do is you can enable it. Once you enable it, as long as you're watching the screen will never turn off. Now this is going to be a bonus tip. This is the last tip. And this is also under motion and gestures. Notice where you have an option here that says lift to wake. I have lift to wake on all of my phones because what this will do for you is when you pick up your phone, it's going to turn on. So instead of having to press that power button, as soon as you pick it up, it's going to turn on for you and then you can unlock it. Now this next tip has to do with accessories and the fingerprint sensor. So while I love this case, I think it's a thin profile case and it really makes your phone a little bit lighter. One of the things I did not like is that the fingerprint sensor, my finger really never found the fingerprint sensor completely, and that caused a lot of problems. So I'm going to take this case off, this cover. I'm going to wipe this down, and I'm going to show you why I went with the Spigen one. And what I like about the Spigen one, and we'll look at this right here, notice this cut right here, when you're holding it and you bring your finger, notice how it guides it right in place. So you're always getting kind of like the fat part of your thumb connecting to it. So I really enjoyed this one versus the one that came with Samsung because notice how it guides your finger. So as soon as you put your finger there, you're going to turn on your phone without any kind of problems. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to power up the phone, put my finger, bam. It works every single time because your finger is guided to the right spot. I'll have a link to this product in the description area as well. So guys, those were my 10 tips on improving your experience with the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Let me know if you have any tips that you'd like to share because I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.